What is up, everybody? JD here. I hope you're doing well today. Still in the garage doing these videos. Let's jump into it. All right, guys, we have the Tuya Vortex Model 2, or I should say it's the Vortex Model 2 manufactured by Tuya, and we got now a Persian style blade, beautiful belt satin finish on there. They did a nice job with that. Crystallized titanium. Look how they did that pivot collar. Really cool. Matching crystallized titanium here, not anodized on that pocket clip. External steel lock bar insert. Kind of a unique look, a little bit different than what you're kind of seeing on the regular. Thumb stud action, very smooth action on here, nice and centered. Look how low the thumb stud is on this one, very low, so you get a nice approach angle for the deployment on there. The tune is done extremely well. If I didn't mention, this is an integral. So that explains why you have that pivot collar the way that you do, so that you can take the knife apart, get the bearings out, swap them, maintenance them, and how you can get the lock bar on there because it's all one piece. But the action on here is just really good. Nice reverse flick deployment, good thumb flick deployment. Access to the lock bar is good. It's not great, but it's definitely not bad. A little tight for that side deployment. Little tight for me to get it to slide over with the thumb. Very good for picking it up if you're coming out of like a grip and you're closing it one-handed. So that is nice. I would say it's fair. Could have been a little bit better as far as giving some relief on this side or leaving a little bit more of the lock bar hanging down. And then maybe they could have chamfered just a little bit in here. If they brought it back, maybe. Could have chamfered that a little bit more to have that access on it. My editor will have to put the blade steel on here. I believe I looked it up and it was M390. That's one of the disadvantages is being out in the garage. I don't have my laptop and everything to reconfirm what I had looked up when I originally saw this. And if I didn't mention, there is a slight contouring on this one. So ergonomically, it's pretty comfortable. Now, it is a little sharp right here where it's a little thinner down there. So I do kind of feel that. And then just a little bit of a hot spot right here, a little scratchy where that titanium ends. It's more the lock bar insert than it is on the outside that I kind of feel that. So you could probably knock that down just a touch yourself right there on the edge and get rid of that fully. This flat spot here provides a nice landing pad. You can really choke up on that one. Let me grab a piece of paper and some cardboard. We'll check blade geometry on this one. All right, this has gone through the pass around, so hopefully the last person stropped it up. Yeah, I don't think that they did, so we'll strap it here in a second. Let's just check through the cardboard before we strap it up. Not bad. Little thick behind the edge, but not awful. Yeah, just a little thick behind the edge. I would like this to be just a little bit thinner there so that I could have the control. Let me try to strap it and see if that makes a difference. All right, it wants to bite. All right, we're getting there. Let me see. Okay, so it's pretty early on and then late that it wants to do that. I feel like we get so close, but not quite there. All right, I need to save this paper for other videos. All right, I'll mess with this a little bit more later, but let's go ahead and do some size comparisons. All right, so the Vortex Model 2 is a little bit closer to my Concept Raven than it is my Concept Caveman. Apologies, I can't do more size comparisons right now because everything's kind of in a state of flux in my house. I also forgot to try to find where I had put the scale. I did put it somewhere where I could get to it quickly, but I just can't remember where it was that I put it. But as you can see, I would consider this a fuller size knife, especially considering it's just a touch bigger than the Raven. All right, guys, time for final thoughts and impressions on the Vortex Model 2. I grade on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the best. I take into consideration fit, finish, performance, ergos, aesthetics, and money for value. While I do think this is a pretty impressive piece, being that it is an integral, it is a little hard for me to grade because it is going to the pass around, and the edge on this one also being a little bit wonky. I've had a couple of Tuyas come to me like that, and I don't know if it's because it's just not getting stropped up in the pass around or if it's not properly being stropped up. I will work on this to try to get it in better condition before it gets to the next reviewer, but that does hold it back a little bit for me. Minor hot spots on here, not a real big issue. Not a huge Persian guy either, so that does hold it back for me a little bit. But overall, the knife design itself is pretty good. Love the contoured scales. Very cool price for an integral. Nice pocket clip that does work well. I don't think I mentioned that in the review, and it's not near the relief cut. I think on this one for me, I'm going to go 7.6. I think that is a very fair score for the Vortex Model 2 manufactured by Tuya. You guys let me know what you think about this one down in the comments below. I am very curious. I will link Tuya for you. I am an affiliate, so when you use those affiliate links, it does help the channels. Shout out and special thanks to my channel members. If you're not subscribed, definitely consider subscribing. If you enjoyed today's video, a like would be appreciated. That's it for me today. Thanks for hanging out. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. It may change their life. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Goodbye.